Hi, Mac. How are you?
Hi. Good. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for chatting to us today at BFM. We are very excited that you're coming back to New Zealand in January. Last time we saw you here, it was for Laneway in 2018. How's the last year been for you? You've obviously put out a fantastic new record.
It's been cool. Yeah, I'm enjoying my life. It's been great.
That's very good to hear. Hey, the record's called Here Comes the Cowboy. It came out in May. The Cowboy is kind of having a bit of a moment in pop culture again. It's sort of resurfaced in a bunch of different ways. What does the Cowboy mean to you? How did you sort of latch on to this idea?
When the record came out, then I definitely realized that, Cowboys are coming back, but I'm pretty disconnected from the world at this point, so it hit me by surprise. But I think the reason that that song even ended up coming out when I was demoing this record was maybe you've heard of my friend Kieran J. Cowan, and he was dressing up like a cowboy for a year, so I was, it was in my lexicon. I was calling people cowboy, this and that, but yeah, I don't know. It's a full-on thing right now, which is interesting. But I think it's weird. I greatly appreciate like the cartoony like character idea of a cowboy, but the physical, modern day incarnation of it, maybe not as much, but I don't know. It's funny.
Hey, Mac, you've got a very dedicated fan following. At the end of another one, which is one of your earlier EPs, you gave out your address and you asked people to pop on by for a coffee. Did you get people showing up?
Yeah, we had a lot of people, thousands and thousands of people.
To your house?
It was cool. I probably won't do it again, but it was a cool experiment. Yeah, it was great. It was really interesting, but it was a little, sometimes when you like just want to watch a TV show, but your doorbell's going all day, it's like, you regret it. But I wouldn't say regret it, but it was definitely an experiment. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, totally. You've got quite a big following amongst sort of young people, teenagers, and people in their early 20s. What is it about your music that you think kind of attracts that sort of age group? I mean, obviously that's your peer group as well in many ways, but what is it about your writing do you think that pulls people in?
I don't know. I really don't. I mean, a lot of the music that I think people find out of mine initially, I wrote when I was around that age, so maybe, and I just write about how I'm feeling, how my life is changing, yada, yada, yada. So maybe if other people are around that age and they hear, songs about what they're going through, then maybe that, if they are, it's hard to say, but it's got to be something that makes them interested. But it's hard for me to say again. I'm not sure.
I know a lot of people talk about growing up a lot as being something that is maybe connected to this new album. Do you think that's a fair thing that people are saying, or for you does this just feel like the natural next step?
I don't know. I think that, people have always, I think that's like one of the first things that ever comes up with like any of my records. It's like, number 2 record, it's about growing up. Salad, it's about growing up. Old dog, it's about growing up. Which is, and I think, the fact of life is you are growing up the whole time, and then you're done growing and you die. So maybe it's more to, being whatever age I am. But things change, and the way you think changes, and your life changes constantly. So I think I'm just trying to, jot it down in some way. So if I do look back, then I can remember where I was at the time, or whatever else. Absolutely.
It's quite an introspective album in many ways, and it's also sort of minimalist in its production. Was that a conscious thing for you? You sort of trying to strip it back, or was that just the sound you felt like making?
I think, going into it, I really wanted to make something like very dry, very mellow, like not very exciting, just a little jarring, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just strange, like the kind of thing that you got to sit down with, and if you don't want to sit down with it, then it's not for you. You know what I mean? Like, and I guess introspective and stuff. That's just kind of how, the only way I know how to, especially with lyrics, and the only way I know how to write. But just something. I wanted to make something that was not fantastic and huge and crazy, but in its own way, it is. And for me, it was probably more exciting to make than any of my other music, but just, strange, respect the instruments, respect the sound, have it feel like I'm talking right in your ear, strange.
But I really like that there's a sort of quiet theatre to this record. I really like the first track sort of setting this kind of strange scene for the way the rest of the album sort of plays out. And I guess that kind of comes through in your music videos a little bit as well. Could you talk a little bit about how you sort of, I guess, go from the process of having a song and then turning it into something visual that people will experience in a totally different way?
I think, it's the same kind of concept of that I went for with the album, with the music videos. It's like usually I'm not the kind of guy that like wants to write a script for a music video and it's like, all right, now we're gonna then this happens and there's some like denouement or whatever. It's just I like to. I do with the music in a way where like maybe the music will have a certain tone, like, and then the lyrics can have a different tone, but when they're juxtaposed, it makes it a little confusing. And then, especially with the videos from this new record, it's basically just a strange image. Like there's something strange, and then for the most part, it's just different iterations of that strange image. Like the video for Nobody, it's like seemingly like sad and soft, quiet song, and then like I'm in lizard makeup, so it's like it makes people go like, what? It's uncomfortable, what I mean? I don't want to make, I want to make people think about what they're watching, you know what I mean?
This is Mac DeMarco speaking to me on Friday about his new album, Here Comes the Cowboy. We're going to listen to the second part of the interview now. I started off by asking him how this new album, because it's quite different in many ways to his earlier stuff, is going to sort of fit into what he does when he's performing live and how that's been working for him so far. So let's jump into it.
It's been cool. I mean, there's some songs that we do more often than others, and, depends on the show, depends on the crowd and the circumstances and stuff, but I really enjoy doing it. But yeah, again, even in that respect, like I understand that, it's a funny one to bring into the live set because it's quite different than, everything that we've been doing previously. But we found ways to work it in, and like it's fun seeing which songs people want to hear and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It definitely weeds out the fair weather people, I'll tell you that.
This got the true Mac DeMarco fans coming out. Hey, this is out via Mac's record label. Can you tell us a little bit about how the label came about?
I have a lot of friends that have done a similar thing, starting their own, artist labels, either through companies or on their own or whatever. Yeah, and I think I just wanted to try something new, and we're seeing how it goes. And at this point, it's just kind of an outlet for me to release my own stuff. But maybe in the future, at some point, I'll put other people's stuff out. But there's no plans as of right now. But yeah, I'm just trying it out, and it's been cool. And it's not, not too different, but it's interesting, and it's exciting to have the capacity and like a platform to, at some point in the future, like if there's somebody that I want to help out or whatever, then we can hopefully help them out.
Yeah, totally. In the last sort of 2 years, you've kind of slipped from the indie scene, which you're still very much a part of, but like you've sort of slipped into the mainstream a little bit more. And I guess kind of having that level of recognition maybe does give you the chance to do something with your record label or with your music. Has that been a weird thing to sort of experience, or has it just kind of happened gradually for you?
It's weird. I mean, meeting, the only way that I'm able to gauge it really is like, because I don't read any of the stuff about me on the internet, or like I don't have social media, blah, blah, blah. But like say I'm out at a festival or something and like someone like substantially quite famous will be like, hey, Mac. And I'm like, what? Like, what? What are you, what? That's when I, then I'm like, oh, something is weird all of a sudden. But yeah, I don't know. It's cool. I don't know. I don't think, for some reason, it's like I'm a cartoon character or something. Like people seem to know my name, or like, because maybe it's because I wear the same clothes every day. But that's grown. But the shows we're still playing. We're not playing stadiums or anything. It's like it's still pretty mellow. But I don't know. It's bizarre. It is quite bizarre.
You've been listening to lots of different stuff. I've been reading a little bit about you enjoying Jonathan Richman and things like that at the moment. What were some of the sounds that helped inspire, I guess, this new record?
I was listening to a lot of Beatles music, maybe more along the recording side of it. Like I was, honing in on that more than the songwriting this time. And a lot of like ambient music actually, but just that didn't really shine through. But I think again some of the recording stuff, and there's this one song that really kind of set a tone for me. It's a song called Graduation by this artist named Henry Flint. And he's like, he was kind of experimental, kind of noise, kind of songwriting, sometimes artist from 60s and 70s. But this one song is just this weird, kind of reverbed out, like, song. He's kind of singing like Kermit the Frog on it. The rhythm's kind of like a train, kind of slowly making its way down the tracks. And there's just something about the way that the lyrics juxtapose with the music and the way it's all presented. It's just like, this is bizarre, and I really, really enjoy it. So,
do you think that helped inspire maybe some of the sort of like, I guess, the more left of centre tracks like Choo Choo on this album as well? Was that sort of something that you were consciously thinking about?
I think, well, that tied into the, because I was like, well, I say cowboy in a couple songs, so maybe I'll do a song where cowboys like trains, I guess, whatever. So that kind of tied in, but also that, I think the weird funky songs on the record also come a lot from, I love Sly Stone. It's just me trying to sly it up a little bit. Maybe not to the best results, but my little interpretation of his vibration. You know what I mean?
A lot of us are really enjoying it here at 95 BFM, and lots of people very excited to see you back in Auckland in January. Are you looking forward to coming back to this half of the world?
Yeah, very excited. Should be great.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Mac. We really appreciate it. Good luck for the tour.
Thank you. Bye-bye.